So he said if you're born with male DNA, you can never become a woman. What would you say to correct that claim?
I say your body, your choice.
Okay.
I agree. Your body, your choice.
Okay. To become a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What is a woman?
I don't even know how to answer that.
Gender's not a construct, so.
Right.
So.
If someone says, I'm now a woman, what does that mean that they are?
I don't know how to answer that.
I don't know how to answer that.
Are you guys women?
I'm whatever I want to be.
Right, but are you a woman?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. What are you?
They, them.
They, them?
Yep.
Okay, so you're neither male or female.
I don't know what I identify as anymore.
Okay.
So-
what have you identified as in the past?
She, her.
She, her? Okay, would that be a woman?
Yes.
Okay, so you are a woman.
Sure.
Okay, well, I guess you identify as a woman.
I don't want to answer this anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Do you guys think all sports should be gender neutral?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
Especially football, because there should be more. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why though?
Because women deserve equal rights.
Equal rights.
You guys think all sports should be gender neutral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I just think that a girl could definitely do it.
The Australian women's national team, who were ranked number 5 in the world at the time,
Outstanding, yeah.
lost 7-0 to a team of 15-year-old boys.
It was a pup play demonstration at a local gym.
Oh, here he is.
Makes you wonder, is this because women vote? Is it because women vote and they voted against the interest of men who would have stopped this?
Hard to blame women in a room full of men. So
Yeah, that's
I'm going to
true.
say this one's on us.
I was gonna say something else, but maybe I shouldn't because it is like a family-friendly adjacent show.
Nah, go ahead.
They're definitely trying to breed this thing. It's not gonna work, but they're definitely trying to make puppies with this thing. Let's just leave it at
Yeah.
that.
So they do the hand signal. And like the whole impressive thing about doing hand signal with the dog's dumb, but he can understand. And now you're just doing it with a human for nothing. So all these guys can go, what, get horned up later?
They get bricked.
How do you believe feminism should be defined? And do you think it can be reconciled with conservatism?
Well, so yes and no. It depends. There's first, second, and third wave feminism. First wave feminism is that women should have a right to vote. Second wave feminism had a lot of problems, which is the female liberation movement, that women should not just be at home, but they should get into the workforce. Third wave feminism is complete garbage, which is toxic modern day feminism, which is irreconcilable with any decent society, which is far more about hating men than actually respecting women. And you guys all know the type of that kind of feminism. There are some good aspects of second wave feminism, but at the core of feminism, we have to ask the question is, has it made American women happier? And it hasn't, actually. American women are more suicidal, more depressed, more anxious than they were prior. And I believe, and again, we get in trouble for saying this, is that you should have the agency and liberty to do whatever you want. But many women, a majority, like 90+% deep down, have this urge to reproduce and to raise children. And we are telling them to forsake that and go become a CEO of a shoe company. And we're wondering why so many young ladies are miserable and angry because they're at war with something within them that they actually want to do, which is to have a relationship, have children, and nurture future humans into this world.
I would like to propose an alternative perspective. I'm conservative, but I'm also a feminist, and I think that a better way to propose feminism in the public media would be not to eliminate having children and tell women that they shouldn't have children, but to figure out your career first before you decide to settle down, because you can't really undo that once you have kids.
So I think it's the exact opposite. I think you should have kids first, then do your career, because which one has a timetable on it?
True, but once you have kids, you're committed to that, and you can't really have as much of a career. So you should kind of define your I guess what I'm trying to.
Kids are way more important than being, a data scientist at Dropbox.
But Okay, what if you don't want to have
That's
kids?
fine. Then go do it. You're risking that you might end up super miserable. And that's what we're seeing, is that we have seen a spike where half of women in their 30s that are unmarried are on antidepressants. Half. We've never seen a spike like this. And again, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but we've never ever seen a generation or a group of people so angry, so miserable, so medicated. And there's obviously something wrong. We know who are the happiest women in America. Women with 3 or more kids are the happiest women in America. Least suicidal. Yes, right? And by the way, it's not easy, but it's super deep. And so again, if you want to go be a data scientist, God bless you. This is country, free country, go do that. I just think that there's a part of the story that isn't being told, which is that the opposite should be like, have kids as soon as possible, and then you can go pursue your career in your late 30s once your kids are 18 years old. And it's the opposite. We tell people, wait. And by the way, when you reach your 30s, you might be infertile, you might have trouble having kids, you might need IVF, you might need all these other
We've got 2 cities that are contenders to be DEI capitals. Let's go to our first DEI capital, located in Corvallis, Oregon, where they've become the first ever trans, intersex, and gender diverse sanctuary city. The city council said it was a no-brainer.
My youngest child is non-binary, and we heard a lot tonight about some of the fear and what ridiculous actions being taken at the federal level and in other states across this country, and they're scared.
I move to approve a resolution declaring the city of Corvallis a trans, intersex, and gender diverse sanctuary city.
Reverend Al might have to relocate. And now our second DEI capital is Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester is basically DEI Disney World. A couple months ago, the city decided cops and firefighters would have to do 6 DEI training sessions. 6. Because you can't be colorblind when saving lives. Classes are taught by Diversity Captain Kev. Captain Kev and his special gender unicorn are fireproofing your feelings. And that unicorn has a story to tell. What it is, I'm not sure. But they, them has an awful lot of heart and chromosomes in their crotch.
How do black people not have access to a better life in America? What's preventing them?
Police, the government.
Hold on. No. What is the #1 cause of black death in Chicago?
Are you serious?
Other blacks killing blacks.
Are y'all saying other blacks?
Yes.
That does not matter.
It does matter because it's a black-on-black problem.
It's a
and blacks need to solve the problem of black-on-black violence. If it was a bunch of kids from Deerfield coming in with guns, it would be a white problem. But somehow, if it was a black-on-black problem, it's a crime problem. It's systemic injustice. It's the police. No. Why is it that black Americans are 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders?
Where can you show me that?
It's FBI statistics. Ask ChatGPT. Ask Grok.
Why would I ask ChatGPT when ChatGPT has shown what?
Look.
70% of offenders were African American. Boo! Yeah. Charlie, for the sake of myself, I really do appreciate the ability to debate with you, man.
I want you to think about what I asked you.
Okay, you mind if I have a hat?
Why are we using American police to protect his dealership?
Well, hold on a second. If private property is threatened by a mob, that is the role of the police to protect, whether it be a Wendy's being burned by Black Lives Matter or a Tesla dealership being burned by angry people like you. The first cause of government is to protect private property rights.
Do you think that's a good use of taxpayer dollars? Tesla, billionaires' property?
Hold on a second. It's not just billionaires' property. He employs well over 100,000 people. Tesla stock is held by teachers across the country.
And it's dropping, not because of Americans, but because of Europe.
Do you want it to drop?
Absolutely.
See, that is a sick and twisted worldview.
What, you want Target's stock to drop whenever they have an LGBT flag?
Target does not really make anything in this country. That's a separate issue.
You're saying the same thing about the dealership. They don't make anything, they just hold the car.
You understand all Tesla dealerships are owned by Tesla, and they're manufactured in America and designed by Americans. So what you are cheering for is the disenfranchisement and unemployment of Americans.
Hello, my name is Celeste Deist. I am 17 years old, a junior and track athlete at AGHS. Most importantly, I am a woman advocating for the renewal of female rights, which recently has been overlooked and disregarded. I implore all of you to help put an end to this current injustice. Recently, I went into the women's locker room to change for track practice, where I saw at the end of my row a biological male watching not only myself, but the other young women undress. This experience was beyond traumatizing. I must add, he is not changing in our locker room because he's in his track clothes, dressed and ready to go to practice at the beginning of the day. Therefore, there's absolutely no reason for him to be in any locker room, let alone the women's. Adults like yourself made me and my peers feel like our own comfort was invalid, even though our privacy was and still is being completely violated. The individual who identifies as female has XY chromosomes. Biologically, this makes him a male. Because females have XX chromosomes. This is basic biology.
Okay, please wrap it up.
I just want to ask, what about us? We cannot sit around and allow our rights to be given up to cater to an individual that is a man, who watches women undress and is stripping away female opportunity that once was fought for us. Sadly, we have to try and regain our rights again. I hope you put effort into the restoration of our school safety. Thank you for serving.
Thank you.
So what is Project 2025?
It is the project that the ultra-conservative oligarchs and people have been working on for a couple decades now, and it's to take over our government, and that's exactly what's happening.
Okay, isn't it supposed to be Agenda 47?
It's the same. They just changed it because Trump didn't want, he pretended like he didn't have anything to do with 2025, so they changed it to Project 47.
Who are the authors of Project 2025?
Oh, God, they're oligarchs. Do you know any of the authors?
Don't look behind you. They don't know.
I know.
I know you know. Of course you know.
Project 2025, the authors.
The boomers are the issue, I think.
It's easy to find on the internet. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. And so what policies are you against?
Well, how about that they just fired like over 1,000 IRS people right when it's tax season, over 1,000 National Park Service people right before camping season. I went online to try to get a camp spot, and it's shut down.
Oh, no, Sharon.
Cutting funding for the LGBTQ, cutting funding for kids with disabilities in the school district.
None of that's true.
You know who's going to be hurt if they get rid of the Department of Education? Are kids with special needs, because the programs for them come from the federal government to the states.
Yeah.
I just got a thing on my Facebook saying
not
that
Facebook.
they cut things to seniors.
Oh, the hat tells me everything.